guess I'm not sure how to address this, or if I should. A comment that actually was kind of a question came up about how much will Wade Trim be addressing basically of issues that have been on Facebook, for lack of better terms. First of all, I want to say that the most recent Facebook page I saw actually had some interesting comments that I think Wade Trim can actually look at and address. But I also want to caution people to know that there's been a lot of miscommunication on Facebook. There have been things that have been stated that would elude people to think one thing when it is absolutely false. And so I think you just need to be careful in what is being read. I've actually been doing some looking and trying to find out different things. And I'm very disappointed in some of the comments that are being made on Facebook to begin with, that then people say, okay, well, if that's true, well, then what about this? That is a justifiable question if the premise was true. But there's been a lot of false, absolutely false information. I'll give you just one example. I'm just going to go with one. And that is that the mayor all but said that they didn't point out flaws regarding the dam that GEI done because Eagle doesn't care.
Am I gonna, when I watch that video of the water overtopping the road by the dam, am I gonna deny that the boards were all out of there? Absolutely not. But what I can tell you is since our city manager has taken over, that dam has been managed correctly. Eagle didn't care. Eagle could care less. Eagle said it happened twice, it happened 3 times, it happened. We don't care. It overtopped, bam. We don't care why. Well, we're going to say your dam doesn't have the capacity for the water flow. Well, wait a minute, the boards weren't taken out. They didn't care. You saw their smirks when they were sitting here. I didn't. But you saw their smirks. They don't care.
I did say Eagle doesn't care, but that was because the comment was made that, well, the boards were still in and you see the water flying over it.
If the raceway were open, if the stop logs were out, you wouldn't have this sort of event where water is running down the driveway. So this is not an event that you can use to validate the model. The stop logs were in the raceway. They very well may have been responsible for the spillover on the road there. This is like your secondary or auxiliary spillway. If you don't have this open and you've got a lot of water that you've got to move, of course you're going to have potentially activation of your emergency spillway.
We addressed that with GEI. We addressed that with Eagle. That was in fact a teleconference that we had with the supervisor on teleconference, GEI teleconference, and one of the reps from Eagle sitting next to us. Doesn't mean that they weren't addressed, but Eagle still doesn't care. So when partial statements are put on, please look at who is putting them on, what their background is, what they are saying, and what we have said in this meeting. And I think you will find a lot of discrepancies and things that lead you to believe one thing that is totally different. So without, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but there have been some comments on Facebook that have tried to throw city council, our city manager under the bus. that are really kind of ridiculous, that we have no backbone. We've not said no to Eagle. If we didn't say no to Eagle, then why would we be told that we'd be facing up to $10,000 a day in fines if we didn't proceed? That our city manager could be held liable for fines and imprisonment? Well, why would they say that if we didn't say no to them? We did say no. We postponed the lowering of the water by probably a month and a half because we said no. But when it comes down to it, we didn't have a choice. So we are following state law, and we've resisted as much as we can without bankrupting the city. And if we continue just to say, no, we're not gonna do it, guess what? We go bankrupt. And guess who takes over if a city goes bankrupt? Anybody have any idea? It's called the state. If the state takes over, what do you think is gonna happen to the dam? They don't care. It's gone. So we are trying to say no to the best and strongest of our ability, and to try to do whatever we can to mitigate what we're going through right now. So with that, I'll be quiet and ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Any comments or questions? All in favor of adjourning, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. We are adjourned at 7:08.